guys, welcome to Pastoral Homestead. Welcome to another Monday morning coffee chat. So glad that you took the time out of your day to join us. And yes, I am drinking coffee from a pink coffee cup. Don't you give me any crap about it either. I heard something absolutely ridiculous this weekend. I was watching the news and this guy came on and was saying that Pokemon Go has now infiltrated our children and that it is a demonic force on our nation, and that we as Christians should stand up and fight back against the evils of Pokemon Go. There's so much wrong with that I can't even begin to put that in words. But let me just start first and foremost with the very notion that somehow in some way a bunch of kids outside running around doing something other than sitting in front of their television is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. And if it's because of a video game or a TV show or a card game or whatever it happens to be, more power to them. I'm glad they're out there doing that sort of thing. And you yourself, the ones that are sitting there judging all these youngsters out there doing that one thing that you think is just a waste of time and deplorable, and that nobody in the history of the United States would ever dream of wasting time on such a scale. I got news for you, folks. You should read Matthew 7 because you're being extremely hypocritical. And I'll prove it to you. What were fads whenever you were a kid? What was hip and in style and fun whenever you were a kid that you spent too much money and too much time on? Well, I remember Pogs. Growing up, enjoying Pogs. You went out and you bought these stupid little cardboard pieces, and it was a lot of money, and you bought these little cardboard pieces, and you and your friends would sit around in school and you'd stack them on your table and you'd see how many you could knock down, and however many you knocked over you got to keep. Stupid fad. What about troll dolls? Do y'all remember the troll doll phase? Those little stupid plastic things with the crazy hair, and you got to like make it all stupid. How much money and time did you spend on troll dolls? Silly putty. So instead of actually reading the newspaper, you could put the silly putty on there and turn it over and you'd have to read it backwards. What about Nerf guns and Nerf footballs? All those different things that you had in the 80s and 90s. Those little guns, and man, it was fun. We had a good time, but weren't they expensive? What about Legos? How much money have you spent on Legos? And parents, how much money have you spent on Legos only to have terrible, horrible pain whenever you step on them at night walking through your house? Isn't that a waste of time and a waste of money? No, it's not. It's just fun. I mean, good grief. In the 70s, they had something called pickup sticks that was a fad. Pickup sticks. It's literally as bad as it sounds. You have 50 sticks in a can, you throw them on the ground, you have to pick them up. That was a fad. That was something people enjoyed to do. So you're telling me that my kiddos that are running around playing Pokemon Go are wasting their time because you played pickup sticks and that's better? Give me a break. Give me a break. Okay, a couple other ones. What about easy bake ovens? So instead of teaching your little girl how to actually cook, instead of actually having her in the kitchen and spending time with her, you sent her to her room with a light bulb and she was expected to cook a little cake for your viewing pleasure. It's ridiculous. How much money did you spend? How much time did she spend on an easy bake oven when you could have had some bonding, wonderful mom-daughter time together in the kitchen? It's ridiculous. And then what about Furbies? I remember having a Furby whenever I was a little bit smaller, and my little sister definitely had Furbies and loved them. Waste of time, waste of money. And then last but not least, some of you guys have said, well, it's really deplorable that the parents are taking part in this Pokemon Go, that the adults would dare take part in something so horrendous as Pokemon Go. What about Beanie Babies? Do you remember Beanie Babies in the 90s? Like the biggest fad and craze of probably the last 100 years. Had these little bitty stuffed animals that somehow they made into like they were a rarity, and so people were paying thousands of dollars for these little bitty stuffed animals to put on their shelves that were collectible. How much is that Beanie Baby collection worth to you now? And don't tell me there was a bunch of kiddos running around collecting Beanie Babies, because it wasn't. It was you, and it was my parents, and it was some other parents. It was adults. They were the ones running around collecting Beanie Babies. Fads come, fads go. People are always going to find things to spend their money on, to spend their time on. It's not demonic. It's not a waste of time or energy. It's just something for people to do. Calm down. Get behind it. If you don't want to have anything to do with it, here's a great power in America. Don't do it. Don't do it. But don't tell me and my family and me and my youth kiddos and everybody else that there is out there playing Pokemon that they can't do it just because you don't want to do it. How about you mind your own business and pray for everybody instead of getting so upset? That's all I got for you today, guys. God bless you. Have a great, safe day. We'll talk to you next time.